welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I thought that we would go on ahead and react to something a little bit different. This is from a YouTuber named Dominic, if I'm saying his name correctly. It was something that I guess he's in the same kind of field as Swoozy is, with the cartoon animation and storytelling kind of combination going on. Now, this kind of spoke out to me, because it said introvert, and due to contrary belief, I kind of am considered a very, very harsh introverted person. Even though, you know, I can kind of tune in and out when I need to be, but it just is like, I'm curious to see what his thoughts on introverts, or if he's also an introvert, what his positioning is. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and see what exactly Mr. Dominic is bringing to the table.
I believe having a healthy mind to be a top priority, at least for myself. A healthy mind leads to a healthy life, and to be at peace with yourself is what I believe to be our goal during the limited time we have on this planet. But to achieve a healthy mind, you must first understand how your specific one works, and accepting that you may be different from others, which is 100% okay.
Yeah.
I am an introvert, or at least I believe I fall somewhere in that category. Not to be confused with antisocial or be simplified as shyness, introversion can be misinterpreted by those who are unaware of it. And by no means am I an expert on this topic, I'm just hyper self-aware, and this is what I know. To understand introversion and its counterpart extroversion, you must see it as a result of what drains and recovers your energy. Introverts lose energy from being around people for long periods and recharge their energy by spending time alone. Extroverts are the opposite, where they tire from being alone and recharge by being social. It is very rare to be strictly one or the other. We all fall at different ranges on the spectrum. I enjoy being alone. Well, not all the time, but I have a lot of hobbies that can be done alone, and those times in solitude are a great way for me to reflect on myself and whatever current obstacles I'm trying to overcome. Whether it be relationship matters, career matters, ideas for new videos, do we have enough toilet paper, I enjoy just thinking about things. If you ever hang out with me and notice that I'm just staring blankly at your elbow, and you ask me, "Hey dude, what you thinking about?" and I reply, "Nothing," I probably mean I forgot. Because I've been so deep in mental isolation that I can't figure out how to verbalize my thoughts. Why do killer whales get the killer prefix when so many other sea animals are predators as well? Don't most fish kill and eat other fish below them in the food chain? Hey, fun fact. Killer whales aren't even whales, they're dolphins! Wanna know what the most dangerous fish is? The catfish. I mean, yes, I enjoy having company and being around others as well, but there are things about isolation that I just appreciate. Some of you might not understand the appeal because you may directly correlate seclusion with loneliness. If you are alone, you must be lonely, and being lonely is bad, therefore being alone is bad. Which isn't necessarily true. You can be in a dense population and still feel lonely. Growing up, I found myself in all sorts of groups and situations where I felt lonely despite being surrounded by people. Physical loneliness versus mental loneliness. To be alone doesn't mean you are lonely. Loneliness is just a result of one's negative perception of being alone. But introverts flip that mindset and take on a positive perspective on it.
Hey yo, Dom, did you check out that party last night? Crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was wild.
I can't with that
I
face.
prefer to do a lot of things alone. I grew up playing video games, and while many games are made for people to enjoy with others, I find great value in single-player games. I have a habit of disappearing from the world for a few days, sometimes weeks, because I become so immersed in the world of the games I play. I find myself playing a lot of online games this way, where although it's encouraged to be played with others, I often choose to be a lone wolf and experience the game solo, while still appreciating the seldom interactions with other players. I value the freedom of being alone, not having to worry about others and only myself. As selfish as it sounds, the only burdens you can bear are only limited to your own. A lot of online multiplayer games encourage teamwork and its necessity to overcome certain trials or enemies, but I find it very fulfilling to discover that solo players are able to achieve the same feats by themselves.
Yeah.
There's nothing more thrilling than witnessing an underdog achieve what others believe they couldn't on their own. And taking a step back, I see this reflect how I act in the real world. I like venturing out and achieving things on my own. It helps me discover and understand things about what I can do and what I am incapable of doing or need improvement on. And those are lessons I could only learn by being my own teacher. My mind is at peace when things
Very
make
true.
sense, or at least when it's reasonable for things to be the way they are. They don't necessarily have to be beneficial, I just seek closure through rationality. Why do I have a surplus of chins? Because I have a declining metabolism and my eating and exercise habits are inconsistent due to my lack of self-discipline. I am at peace with it for now. Why do people leave mean comments on my videos? Well, it might be because they are damaged in some way and are using you as an outlet to project those insecurities, or they lack the empathy to understand the emotional consequences of their words, and anonymity on the internet gives them a false sense of invincibility, a taste of the nectar unavailable to them in the real world.
I like this girl. Why doesn't she like me back?
Because your self-entitlement has blinded you from understanding that it is not your place to complain about people's criteria for attraction, and that romantic reciprocity is never guaranteed. You ain't got the sauce. Accept it. As much as I love hanging out with friends, especially those I don't get to see often, VidCon and Anime Expo were very exhausting events for me. Conventions are often where I get to meet the most fans, and while I love seeing you guys in person and witnessing your genuine appreciation of my work, I get very drained doing so in great volumes. But please don't mistake my lack of energy to mean I am ungrateful. Being hyper-aware of myself and my quirks, I'm actually pretty nervous when meeting a lot of fans at once due to my irrational fear that I may not live up to their expectations, especially if I only have a limited time to do it. My only hope is that I made a good enough impression. It's sad to say, but the majority of fans that I have met, I will probably never meet again. And if the only time we had together was a few seconds or a couple of minutes, it takes a lot of energy to ensure that their patience and excitement to see me was worthwhile for them. I may be too self-critical at times, but I feel that it's necessary so that I can grow as a person. It's easy to look at others and make judgments based on our perspectives, but rarely are people able to reflect on themselves, failing to see their own faults, and often failing to see their own beauty as well. Learn to both criticize and appreciate yourself so that you can continuously develop a better you. Thanks for watching. But before you guys go, I just want to share with you BetterHelp, an awesome place where you can get affordable and private online counseling, anytime and anywhere you need, and in multiple languages too. You'll have access to licensed, trained, experienced, and accredited psychologists, marriage and family therapists, clinical social workers, and board-licensed professional counselors. Whatever life issues you're juggling with, BetterHelp is here for you. And on top of their already good pricing, they offer financial aid discounts as well. Head over to betterhelp.com/domics, link below, and all you've got to do is fill out a questionnaire that will help match you with a counselor, and you're good to go. Look, I get it. Some of us have too much pride to seek help because we believe we're strong enough to handle things on our own. I myself had that pride because I've always told myself that I am my own caretaker. Which is true to an extent, but we never know what random crap life will throw at us, and sometimes it may be too large to dodge or catch on our own. And BetterHelp is there to lend a hand. Seeking help doesn't make you weak. It's merely a step to becoming stronger.
Exactly. Okay. See, honestly, there was a lot of good things to take away from that, especially towards the end, but I do feel like I relate with a lot of what he was saying. I am a person who's very, very to myself. I like to stay to myself the majority of the time. And, I just have that kind of mentality to where a lot of times I may be in deep thought about something, or sometimes more often than not, I like to preoccupy myself with something that kind of takes my mind out of the world, out of the stresses, the worries, and all of the other stuff that my mind may be going through at that moment. Just, to give myself some time to just mellow out. Give myself some time to really think about different and maybe better solutions that I can solve with any of the problems that I have going on in the currency of my life. You know, it's one of those things where it gives you the opportunity to get to know yourself better, and you get your opportunity to really kind of work on your own self. I would say, like he said at the very end, it's always great to be able to have somebody to talk to. As much as I do prefer to be alone the majority of the times, you still need to make sure that you at least maintain a good connection with, even if it's just one person. Try to maintain a relationship with that one person. Or if you're able to have a little bit more people surrounding you, then that's always great, because it's always good to have different opinions. Whenever you are ready to ask questions about something or you need help with something, because you can only work on something by yourself for so long until you hit that brick wall, and you kind of need those moments to look at your surroundings and to ask people for help. A lot of times, I have my stubbornness about me. Like, whenever I hit a brick road, I will have like a couple minutes to try and figure out how to get over that myself, which there's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually, you know, something that you should do for yourself before asking for help, because you don't just always want to run to somebody whenever the first hard problem comes in front of your face. You know, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, my dirty mind. But yeah, just make sure that you want to make sure you keep that balance of independence, but then also keep the balance of making sure that you have that support system who are able to hopefully understand you and understand that maybe you're not always the most talkative one in the bunch, but at least they understand you enough to where they know that if you really, really need them, that they're there for you, you know, point blank period. And even if unfortunately you may not have somebody, then I think that's when the program that Dominic was mentioning to you, that would come in handy. Because if you can't really talk to anybody else about the problems or any issues that are going on in your life, and you've thought about it all night long and all day long trying to solve the solution yourself, it's always good, if you haven't found a problem to it or a solution to it, then it's always good to go and try to maybe talk to a therapist, maybe talk to someone who can give you some advice or at least guide you into the right direction. Just make sure that you stay true to yourself and that you keep doing what makes you feel happy, but don't get too beside yourself that when the time comes that you can't ask for help. Hopefully, off on that note, you enjoyed the video just as much as I did. I related a lot with the video that Dominic had sent out about the introverts. I definitely strongly consider myself to be, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who feels that way. I'm sure the majority, if not some of the people who are looking at this reaction video and had also looked at Dominic's video for this feel about the same way as I do. So with that all being said, I will be looking forward to what your comments and everything of the sort will be down below in the comment section. And if you want to see the original video, or you want to just see what other videos that he has in contact with all of the YouTube world and whatnot, just click on his link in my descriptions down below and it will send you right to his channel. So with all of that being said, I will talk to all of you guys later, and yeah, just keep shining bright, my true blue diamonds, and just always remember to PLEs, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.